Hello everyone, my name is Evie Lupine. Welcome back to my channel, and today I have another video for you all. Today we are going to be discussing the term vanilla as it is used in the BDSM community. Before we get into today's topic, I want to briefly note I am recovering from wisdom tooth surgery. So if I seem swollen, if I lisp, if something like that comes up while you're watching this video, that is why. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into today's video topic. So again, we're going to be discussing the term vanilla as it is used in the BDSM community because for whatever reason, in all of YouTube's infinite wisdom and in the strange, unknowable motivations of the YouTube algorithm, a lot of my older videos, once they're like a year and a half old at this point, are suddenly getting recommended in droves to just random people who have no idea what BDSM is and have no idea how they've ended up on my videos. And from that, I have had a lot of new subscribers. So hello, welcome. If you are new to my channel and you found me maybe through some random suggestion, maybe that was a pretty good thing. But I realized from that I was getting so many comments from people, what does it mean when she says play? What is a scene? What is a dom? Why does she keep using the term vanilla? What's a playroom? All of these terms. And while I have a lot of videos that are covering, certain groups of terms or even about one term specifically, I've never really gone deep into the use of the term vanilla. And the reason why I want to do that is because, well, I have had an influx of people on my channel who identify as vanilla, and I'm so happy you're here, and I'm so happy that you want to learn more about this lifestyle, even if it's not for you. I want to make sure we have a mutual understanding of the intent behind using the word vanilla, because I think there's some misconceptions there and maybe some things that I can help clear up or help explain so that way it is more commonly understood what is intended when the word vanilla is used. I have a lot of people recently who have messaged me or left me ask or something like that where they're like, hey, why do you keep using the term vanilla? Isn't that derogatory? You're not better than me because you do kinky activities. Vanilla people aren't lesser than kinky people. And I can totally get that logic. I can see why, if you were never part of the BDSM community, if you don't have any kinks yourself, you would look at the term vanilla, you would hear it, and you would think that is somebody trying to insult me. Because in the larger universe, actually what we would call the vanilla world, the term vanilla is used strictly in a negative sense, most of the time. It is used to connotate something that is not as good as, not as enjoyable as, something that is plain, something that is boring. And I want to acknowledge there are definitely kink people who do look down on people who are non-kinky, people who are actively engaged in vanilla sex or only have vanilla relationships. There are people who do that and use vanilla as a derogatory term. But I think having been in this community for several years now, I've come to have a deeper understanding about why the term vanilla specifically is used. Because for us BDSM people, and for people who are in the BDSM lifestyle, who are vanilla for 30 years or have vanilla relationships or vanilla marriages, it's not about looking down on somebody because they're not kinky. It's just about being able to describe the difference of the types of relationships and the types of intimacy that we experience. It's not to associate with the connotation of boring or the connotation of it being lesser than or not as good as. It's more about vanilla is sort of like understood to be the baseline, right? Like vanilla is the, base flavor of cookies and brownies, of most desserts, of most good things that we like having. Vanilla's the starting point. And when I think about using the term vanilla, that's kind of what I'm getting at. Vanilla is the average. Vanilla is the norm. Vanilla is the baseline. It's not a negative expression. It's intended to be neutral. It's just saying, hey, this is where the majority of the world is at. This is the baseline. And so vanilla is about just understanding sort of what quote unquote normal is, if we can even really call it that. I don't necessarily think vanilla is normal per se. It just means on average what the general larger world is doing. Now, when I was researching for this video, I came across a really good article by Clarisse Thorn, who is a BDSM author. She wrote the book The S&M Feminist, and I will link to that article down below, and I think she does a really good job of describing that point. And the analogy that she makes is sort of like if we had not grown up with using the term straight to mean somebody who is not LGBT, if it was not part of our everyday lexicon, it would be very easy to see that as intended to be an insult, as intended to be something that is belittling, something that is saying, you know, you're the other. And it's not intended to be that way. And I think, you know, for most of us, maybe you are straight, maybe you're not, using the term straight, people don't generally see it as a thing that's supposed to be insulting, you know. And it's not about saying, you know, straight is bad or straight is worse or straight isn't as special. It's just the term that we've all grown up using. And when you come into the BDSM community, we have a very, very long history of using the term vanilla. I actually tried to research the history of when the term vanilla started being used, and I could find nothing about it as far as I know, going back at least until the 1980s, sort of when in America at least the BDSM community was forming. The term vanilla was very widely used. It was just the term, and again, it wasn't intended to be an insult. It's just meant to be a separation. There is vanilla and there is kinky, and that's sort of the delineation. And I realize I've gone quite a long ways into this video, not even explaining what the term vanilla means, so let's go ahead and get into that now. Vanilla means that you are non-kinky, or it's a non-kinky practice. It is a subjective term. It is up to each individual person's sort of understanding of the world, their own personal history, their own social group, to define what is vanilla and what is not vanilla, what is kinky and what is not kinky. You know, not that long ago, things like anal and oral sex would have definitely been seen as kinky. Now they're very common, they are very mainstream, and I'm sure as time goes on, as we keep progressing as a society with the forms of sexual expression that we accept, that more and more things that were traditionally assumed to be kinky will now go more into vanilla territory. So it's a very relative term, and I think that kind of contributes to the whole idea of, hey, this is not about being better than or being less than. It's simply a way of describing that difference. And again, it is up to your own personal interpretation, your own understanding of kind of where the line is between what you consider kinky and what you consider not to be kinky. And so hopefully from this video, you have been able to understand a little bit better that the term vanilla, as it's used by people in the BDSM community, is not usually intended to be an insult. It's simply the way that our community over years and years of history has decided to describe things that are not part of our realm, right? There are things that are BDSM and there's things that are non-BDSM, and the usual word for things that are non-BDSM just happens to be vanilla. It's not about being better than or lesser than or anything other than the very simple fact that there is a difference somewhere and there has to be a term for that difference. I want to end this video by just acknowledging that it is okay if you personally do not like the term vanilla. If you personally find it insulting for a reason, if you think the connotation or the association with the use of vanilla to mean bland is too strong, that is totally okay. And I want to advocate for you if you are in a situation where somebody is using the term vanilla, maybe you're associating with kinky friends, maybe you're at a kink-aware event, something like that, and you're hearing the term vanilla, and for whatever reason that is upsetting you or you're taking it as a personal attack, please speak up. Please let people know that that is a term that you personally find offensive, and 99% of the time, I would hope that somebody who is a member of the BDSM community, who has a very deep understanding typically of people's consent and of being sensitive to others' needs, would understand and go, oh, okay, and then hopefully people will use terms like non-kinky or non-BDSM, or will find ways to sort of rephrase their conversation. And who knows? Terms that are socially acceptable change all the time. Things are always evolving, and maybe 5-10 years from now, we'll come to an understanding where maybe we have a different term that we use, or maybe we're keeping using vanilla, but we only use it in very specific contexts, or maybe we're only using, you know, non-kink or non-BDSM. It could happen, you know, like I said, things change all the time. Anyways, that is everything I wanted to cover today. Hopefully this helped clarify some misconceptions. Hopefully if you are somebody who is new to my channel who identifies as vanilla or is transitioning from a vanilla to a BDSM lifestyle, hopefully this made you feel a little bit better. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, thoughts you want to share, put them down in the comment section below. Links to articles and to Clarisse Thorn's article in particular will be down in the description box, so you can check that out, as well as links to my social media, Patreon, all the good stuff like that will be down there as well. If you like this video and you learned something from it, feel free to subscribe to my channel. I make videos twice a week. And finally, if you really like my content and you want to help support my channel, the best place to do that is on Patreon. That is what makes all of this possible. That is what allows me to have better filming equipment, better editing software, being able to make more videos, offer things like exclusive chats and photo shoots and access to all sorts of crazy wild things. So if you want to support my channel, do check out the link to Patreon down below. If you already support, thank you so much. It is so appreciated. And until I see you guys next time, I hope you have a great rest of your day and a great rest of your week. Bye-bye.